Admiral Rogers, I want to turn to you and your written testimony, advanced policy responses. In those, I noted that you stated if the government could continue to access phone records through phone service providers or repositories, that could serve as a viable alternative to the current bulk phone records collection program, and I was glad to read that. Sure. You also wrote that the Business Records 215 program, quote, grew out of a desire to address a gap identified after 9/11, since one of the hijackers, Khalid al-Midhar, made a phone call from San Diego to a known al-Qaeda safe house in Yemen. You noted that the NSA saw that call, but it could not see that the call was coming from an individual already in the United States. I'm concerned by the implication that somehow that Section 215 program could have prevented 9/11, and I want to set the record straight from my point of view. As the 9/11 Commission pointed out, the CIA knew about al-Midhar but did not tell the FBI. So the argument that business records data could have been the key to identifying al-Midhar doesn't stand up in my view. Also, I don't know why the NSA couldn't have gained the authorization on an individualized basis to determine whether this Yemeni number was in contact with anyone in the United States. And I don't see why a bulk collection authority would have been necessary. And as I'm sure you'll agree, the Constitution is not an impediment to our security, it's the source of our security. We can end bulk collection and focus on terrorists and spies without infringing on the constitutional rights of law-abiding Americans. Last year, the President acknowledged what I've been saying. The status quo must change, and I look forward to working with you to make those changes. If I might, in looking ahead, I want to turn to the 702 program and ask a policy question about the authorities under Section 702 that's written into the FISA Amendments Act. The committee asked your understanding of the legal rationale for NASA to search through data acquired under Section 702 using U.S. person identifiers without probable cause. You replied that the NSA's court-approved procedures only permit searches of this lawfully acquired data using U.S. person identifiers for valid foreign intelligence purposes and under the oversight of the Justice Department and the DNI. The statute's written to anticipate the incidental collection of Americans' communications in the course of collecting the communications of foreigners reasonably believed to be located overseas. But the focus of that collection is clearly intended to be foreigners' communications, not Americans. But declassified court documents show that in 2011, the NSA sought and obtained the authority to go through communications collected under Section 702 and conduct warrantless searches for the communications of specific Americans. Now, my question is simple. Have any of those searches ever been conducted?
I apologize, sorry, that I'm not in a position to be able to answer that as the nominee.
Yes.
But if you would like me to come back to you in the future, if confirmed, to be able to specifically address that question, I would be glad to do so, sir.
Let me follow up on that. You may recall that Director Clapper was asked this question in a hearing earlier this year, and he didn't believe that an open forum was the appropriate setting in which to discuss these issues. The problem that I have, Senator Wyden's had, and others, is that we've tried in various ways to get an unclassified answer, simple answer, yes or no, to the question. We want to have an answer because it relates, the answer does, to Americans' privacy. Can you commit to answering the question before the committee votes on your nomination?
Sir, I believe that one of my challenges as the director, if confirmed, is how do we engage the American people, and by extension their representatives, in a dialogue in which they have a level of comfort as to what we are doing and why. That is no insignificant challenge for those of us with an intelligence background, to be honest. But I believe that one of the takeaways from the situation over the last few months has been, as an intelligence professional, as a senior intelligence leader, I have to be capable of communicating in a way that highlights what we are doing and why to the greatest extent possible. That perhaps the compromise is, if it comes to the how we do things and the specifics, those are best addressed perhaps in classified sessions. But that one of my challenges is I have to be able to speak in broad terms in a way that most people can understand. And I look forward to that challenge.
I'm going to continue asking that question, and I also look forward to working with you to rebuild the confidence, as you pointed out, that the public has in the very vital mission that you helm. If I might, let's turn to cyber for the last half of my time. And before I ask a specific question, and I don't want to steal Senator McCain's thunder. That's impossible to steal Senator McCain's thunder, but I think he has a very creative idea in setting up a special committee on cybersecurity so that we could cut through some of the jurisdictional tensions that exist. But in a more specific context, you noted in your comments that we've got to really work to develop and train a significant number of highly capable cyber personnel to meet the nation's needs. And there's no doubt if we're going to achieve dominance that we have to have those personnel. And we've done it in the physical world, in the kinetic world, and we can do it in cyberspace. But do you believe we're doing enough to cultivate cyber professionals in the early stages of their career? The Air Force Academy, which is located in my state, has given cadets the opportunity to fly small aircraft in their college years. They enter pilot training then already familiar with the fundamentals and the feel of flying an airplane or a helicopter. And I'm afraid we're not giving that same level of attention to cyber training programs. Should we be investing in more hands-on, real-world training opportunities at our academies for the next generation of cyber warriors?
Yes, sir, and I'm, as a naval officer, currently as the Navy component commander, I have worked with our own Naval Academy on doing just that. In fact, right now the requirement at the Naval Academy is there is a baseline cyber course requirement for every midshipman to graduate from the Naval Academy now. That's a new requirement laid on within the last couple of years.
I look forward to working with you in that area as well, because we will achieve dominance, but we've got to make those investments up front. I think you and I violently agree.
Yes, sir.
Thank you again, both of you, for your willingness to serve in these important positions.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.